Um, I'm audible, right? Right.
Yes, yes, you're right.
Hi, everyone. As you all know, and as Navin was detailing, the healthcare domain has been separated out as an app, right? And there's been a lot of enhancements which calls for this reintroduction. Hi, amazing conference, even though virtual. My name is Anup, and this is my second talk at an ERP Next conference. First, introducing the healthcare domain in 2017, and today reintroducing the enhanced Frappe Healthcare. All credit to the efforts by Rucha and Anand in taking us this far. Right? And many thanks for this opportunity to speak before you all. Thanks, Rishabh, and all the amazing talks at Frappe. Before I start, a quick intro about my company, Athens. We are a small team exclusively working on ERP Next and Frappe, and we are based out of Kozhikode, Kerala. Folks, I'm to talk about why the healthcare module was built initially and why it's relevant even more today. Rucha and Anand will then detail about the new enhancements and the separation and why it's and what's the roadmap or what's next for healthcare. Right. We started off to build a generic open source one-stop solution for healthcare organizations. And while looking for a RAD framework to start our development, we came across ERP Next and Frappe, and we immediately realized that we should build upon this awesome open source enterprise stack, right? So the healthcare module was built to enable healthcare organizations to make use of the power of Frappe and ERP Next, and more importantly, for them to focus on their core function, care delivery. So let's look at, let's start. So open source is much discussed these days, and let's quickly check some of the key aspects which healthcare providers can benefit from. So Baso talked about the ERP Next ecosystem, and with such a vibrant community backing, you can expect fast deliveries, security validations, whatnot, right? And about open source software, unlike proprietary closed source ones, keep evolving according to business needs and regulatory policies, especially for healthcare. And communities also has domain experts, and the tools are packed with proven industry standards and workflows, and the healthcare setups can automatically comply and enforce these best-known methodologies within their house. And as for the cost, there's no licensing cost involved, and there's very less vendor locking. And I recently read that in India, every year around 7% of the population is pushed down the poverty line due to high out pocket expenditure, and 23% of sick population cannot even afford healthcare. So cutting down costs is, hope. Let's hope to, more people can benefit. Now let's look at how Frappe Healthcare can ease the business workflows and allow healthcare providers to focus on care delivery. So there are a lot of healthcare software around, and very few of them really address the enterprise needs. These systems mostly cover clinical workflows, some of them for medical records, some specialized for laboratory, radiology, blood bank, etc., right? Healthcare setups thus has to rely on a array of software tools for their enterprise needs, like HR, asset management, scheduling, or another ERP, right, apart from their HIs. And there are other customer-facing assets like website, mobile apps, and all these software, right, introduces the need for data interchange and interoperability too. This way, most healthcare enterprises end up engaging multiple software vendors, and who are all trying to charge for their support and services too. So the stack that we are discussing, the Frappe, ERP Next, and the healthcare app, is an attempt to minimize the number of software assets that an healthcare organization needs to buy, pay for, and maintain. So that's about being enterprise ready. Everything that an enterprise would ever need is already available in Frappe and ERP Next out of box, and healthcare is also coming in. Now, being modern, it's quite important to stay current at all times, and but to do that is pretty difficult, especially for healthcare setups in developing countries and with all this proprietary software around, right? So let's look at how Frappe Healthcare can help you stay up to date, right? Many healthcare setups, especially in countries like India, still use software built on with legacy technologies. Again, the stack currently we are discussing is built on Frappe, and you all know it's all about top-notch, proven open source technologies. So these are sure to what do you say, bring in efficiency, performance, security, scalability, and whatnot. The design of healthcare domain again, all through was inspired by FHIR resources. Anand will detail you on this. So Frappe Healthcare is more significant today. No doubt FHIR is going to be the de facto pretty soon, and many countries are already adopting FHIR-based interoperability. In India, NDHM is also building the national health portal, which is also FHIR enabled, right? So that's a good summary on why healthcare exists, and I mean Frappe Healthcare exists, and I feel it's time Frappe Healthcare gets noticed in the healthcare space. So before passing over to Ruchana, I would like to add that we are bringing up some of the stall development before the end of this month itself, and there's been a lot of learning, and we are picking up the momentum. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you all for having me, and Rucha will now talk about some of the awesome enhancements in version 13. Rucha is the domain owner at Frappe, and Rucha, please. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Anu. So I'm Rucha Mahabal, and I'll be walking you through some of the enhancements done in the healthcare module over the past few years. So Frappe Healthcare, as you can see, is a collection of submodules with inpatient, outpatient management, rehabilitation and physiotherapy, laboratory and pharmacy management. Although these submodules are very generic, any healthcare specialization facility like orthopedics or gynecology can map their workflows inside Frappe Healthcare with ease. Initially, we didn't have any module owner or maintainer from Frappe's side for the healthcare domain. So in 2019, we started exploring the module, identifying UX issues, drove a couple of form cleanups, code cleanups, increasing the test coverage, adding more bug fixes. And in version 13 of ERP Next, a brand new healthcare module was released. With the help of a POC with a rehab center, we added the rehabilitation and physiotherapy module. Exercise mapping is at the heart of rehab, and Frappe Healthcare allows you to map exercise templates on the fly. It also provides seamless therapy plan and session tracking with all the exercise counts of the patient, the progress, plans, etc. Healthcare providers need a flexible way of defining their assessment parameters and the score or scales on which they assess the patients. You can create multiple patient assessment templates so that you don't have to fill in redundant data every single time and conduct patient assessments with ease. In order to monitor the patient progress during rehab, we added a patient progress page. You can see all the interactions going on with the patient over a period of time, different graphs varying with period of time like therapy progress, assessment results, correlation between a therapy session and the assessment conducted after that to find out whether the session actually worked for the patient. You can also see how different assessment parameters like arm movements, walking, etc. are varying with period of time to monitor patient progress. Earlier, the patient history view in ERP Next was very rigid. When it comes to healthcare providers, they need a more flexible way of adding more custom document types or even custom fields in standard doc types in the medical records. So we introduced patient history settings wherein you can now configure what all you want to see in the medical records. This was followed by a patient history view rebranding. You can see all the vital signs of the patient on the top, varying with period of time. All the interactions with the patient are shown in the timeline below. You can expand a particular card to get more detail on a particular interaction. This view now also provides filters based on document types and even date ranges. While working on a POC for a large hospital, we understood the problems of bulk medication dispensing for IPDs. When it comes to large hospitals, nurses have to monitor prescriptions all the time, locate patients in different service units with all the medication history, um, keep a track of all the drug shortage, and also update the stock post dispensing. To address all these issues, we added a tool for medication dispensing called as inpatient medication entry. This tool allows you to fetch all the pending medication orders based on some filters. You can choose to update the stock by selecting the warehouse. As you can see, the medication orders provide you with all the details on where the service unit is and when the drug has to be administered. On submission, it will check for shortage quantity of the drugs in the warehouses. You also have an option to make a stock entry right from this view, and then you can go ahead and process your bulk medication dispensing, which will consume stock from your warehouses and also update your medication orders for progress. Apart from this, we added a lot more features like medical coding, which allows you to standardize your treatments, diagnosis, and symptoms, and data exchange with other healthcare providers or insurance providers becomes much easier. We added a lot of enhancements in the lab module, especially related to how the lab test print formats look. Treatment plan template was added so that healthcare providers don't have to fill in redundant data every single time, along with capacity-based service units, which allows you to create overlapping appointments with service units based on some capacity. Now I would like to hand over the talk to Chillar Anand, who works as an engineering lead at Frappe and is primarily working on the healthcare app.
Yeah, thanks, Rucha. Thanks for walking us all features in version 13 of healthcare. I'll be briefly talking about separation of healthcare module and the road ahead for healthcare. If we look at ERP Next, there are a lot of modules in ERP Next like stock, accounts, HR, etc. And there are multiple domains like education, healthcare, retail. And all these domains are disabled by default. Users can selectively enable the required domains for them. Today, we are shipping all of these domains to all the customers, even though most of the customers don't use these domains. So when we want to break monolith, it makes sense to move these domains into separate apps. And there are multiple advantages of doing that. So if we look at some of the advantages, when we move these domains into separate apps, each app can have its own release cycle. If these domains are bundled with ERP Next, and let's say we want to introduce a breaking change in healthcare, now we have to make a major release in ERP Next. Instead, if this healthcare is separated into an app, we can just make a major release in that app itself. There will also be a lot of code decoupling that will happen. Currently, some of the domain specific code is spread across ERP Next. As we separate these domains into apps, the entire code will be completely decoupled and it makes maintenance much easier. And Nabin has talked in detail about some of the advantages and disadvantages of breaking ERP Next as a monolith and moving some of these out of ERP Next. You can watch that talk if you are interested. Coming to roadmap, currently Frappe Healthcare has basic functionality that is required to manage a small clinic or a hospital. Still, it has a lot of modules and features which are missing. Currently, we are working on blood bank, insurance, and HSO modules. These are already work in progress and we'll be releasing them in a couple of weeks. After the pandemic, a lot of healthcare organizations have been asking for telemedicine feature. So we are planning to add a telemedicine to Frappe Healthcare. We are also planning to integrate radiology information system and do DICOM integration. With this, doctors should be able to see X-ray reports, CT scans, MRIs, and other radiology reports directly from Frappe Healthcare. In addition to that, we are also planning to add nursing tasks, clinical notes, episode of care, and many other features to improve healthcare practitioners' workflow. This will add a lot of productivity and it will ease their work. We are also planning to make Frappe Healthcare into a full-fledged healthcare management system, and we are trying to build it based on FHIR standards. FHIR is an open standard for healthcare data exchange. It is evolved from HL7 and CDA standards. FHIR is completely RESTful and also has support for web technologies like HTTP, OAuth, etc. Most of the countries have started adopting FHIR standards. Even in India, Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, National Health Portal are built based on FHIR standards. If you want to integrate with the National Health Portal, it is quite easy to do with the Frappe Healthcare. In Frappe Healthcare, most of the models and workflows are based on FAIR standards. So if you want to expose any of the functionality to any third-party vendor, it is quite easy to do that. So currently Frappe Healthcare has its own repo, and there is also a demo site if you want to try out. We have an active community where we regularly collaborate with many users. If you want to explore or if you want to reach out, you can reach out to any one of us. Thank you for having us. And a big shout out to Earthians and all other community members who have been contributing a lot of bug fixes and features to Frappe Healthcare.
Thank you so much, guys, for such an informative talk on the healthcare app. There are a few questions that are posted in the chat, if you could read them.
Yeah. So question from YouTube, when is blood bank coming up? It is still work in progress. Most probably it will come early December. And there is one more question, any estimation on how many organizations are using healthcare? It's quite hard to track, but there are like 10 to 20 organizations which we are aware of and